Friends, relatives, strangers, and enemies, welcome to an episode of the Texas Conservative Channel where I keep track of the Democrat Party's stupid statements. And there's nobody within the Democrat Party who makes more stupid statements than the communist heathen bastard Michael Moore. So, let's hear what the idiot has to say.
No, we're going to go back to the old ancient way that we used to do it. No, I mean, they like to say but that's not going to happen. We actually need to push much faster forward toward a better system than we have.
Despite all the president's proclamations about those making $250,000 a year or more, about 1.5% of the population, and their tax cuts that he would eliminate, get them back on the right board, does it appear like they're going to capitulate, that those tax cuts stick?
It appears that they're going to capitulate, but because, why? Why do they? Why?
I'm asking you why.
Because Michael Moore's fat ass don't know. He knows that the $250,000 tax mark is a lie, and he can't do nothing but lie about it.
Of the taxes, like they used to for most of our adult lives, that's what they paid much more. That would help so much with the deficit, with the things that we need to fund. If we cut back on the war, if we bring the troops home...
The things that we need to fund, like universal fucking everything. He's a communist.
But this country is crumbling right now. I mean, there's some basic things,
because Democrats are running it.
They put a lot of money into public works, and it was... The attacks on him, I just have not understood. I read this thing last week where it was an article called How Obama Saved Capitalism. I mean, here's a guy who voted for the bailouts, supported did everything, put the Wall Street boys in, Summers and Geithner and these guys, the people at Wall Street wanted, saved the auto companies, for the auto companies, not so much for the workers, but the auto companies. He's done a lot. He's done a lot of what they wanted him to do. If you had $100,000 on the day he was inaugurated, Larry, and you just invested it in the NASDAQ average, just put it in the NASDAQ for the last almost 2 years now, that $100,000 would be $177,000. You'd have a 77%. That's what Obama's done for the wealthy, for capitalism. And what's he got in return from them? They put more money, set a record, more money than they ever have in trying to defeat the people.
So the obvious question is, why, if they're doing so well,
as if everybody and their mother invested in the damn market. What the hell? He's a nut.
They're afraid that they may have to pay the same flat rate of Social Security tax that everybody watching the show right now pays somewhere about 7% of their income that goes, your FICA and all that. But after I think it's like $110,000. If you make more than $110,000 after $110,000, you know what your FICA, your Social Security tax rate is? Zero. So a flat tax on you or I, say, because you and I make more than $100,000 a year. So a flat tax on us, that's a great deal, because 7% out of us, compared to the average, if a person's making $40,000 or $50,000 a year, and 7% of that, it's got to go. That's a big chunk for them. My point is that we wouldn't be worrying about Social Security so much if everybody who makes more than $100,000 a year paid the same rate that the $40,000 a year guy pays. We'd have enough money in Social Security now. It's about $20.75.
That's another source of concern to the Republicans is the Tea Party. Many of the old guard Republican Party, and it's shown already in the fight over who gets a break here and who doesn't, over the Tea Party and the establishment. Could that hurt the GOP?
Oh, absolutely. I think it already hurt. It cost them the Senate, didn't it? I mean, really. I mean, because the Tea Party was successful in getting
races,
Miller and the Delaware woman.
See, that stupid ass communist talk. He just claimed that somehow that the Republican Tea Party position has cost the Republicans the Senate. They made gains in the Senate. But this son of a bitch is making it sound like the Republicans lost the Senate. He is a stupid ass communist heathen bastard. Let's listen to more of that shit pouring out of his mouth.
nuts and say, well, we're going to have to run our independent candidate, and you're going to have perhaps a Sarah Palin or a Rand Paul or whatever running.
Mitt Romney's health plan in Massachusetts is what recently passed. We'll be right back with Michael Moore. Don't go away.
And you have to wonder why that Larry King will give these idiots the time of day. You know, I know he's trying to promote his show, but it doesn't do his ratings very good. You know, like I said before, friends, relatives, strangers, and enemies, Michael Moore is a communist, heathen piece of dog shit. If he really cares about the poor so much, if he really believes that handing out money on Skid Row is the basis for creating more equality, and if his bleeding ass heart really feels that he owes something to his fellow man, then why stop at charities? He should go down, close out every damn bank account that he has, along with all the other liberal elitists who feel as he does, and go down and hand out his money, his shit, his possessions, and everything he owns until he's lowered himself to a point to where he feels that he's equal to his fellow man, until he feels that his obligation to his fellow man has been met. Now, obviously, he doesn't know what in the hell he's talking about here on Larry King Live. $110,000, a flat tax. No, he doesn't believe in that. He wants the fat tax. He doesn't want the flat tax. He doesn't believe in a fair rate. He believes in wealth distribution. He believes that he should be able to make money his way, but if you make money some other way, like in the oil field or in the logging company, anything like that, then shame on that. But if you make money going around telling people lies, like he does, well, so, you know, that's okay. And he likes to claim that something as good has been done for capitalism when he himself has denounced capitalism. And I ask you, friends, relatives, strangers, and enemies, as we get ready to listen to some bitch talk again here on Larry King Live, what sense does that make? You know it doesn't. It doesn't make any sense at all. People like Sean Penn and Michael Moore and Bill Maher and Al Stinkin' Franken and Nancy Pelosi are trying to screw this country. What other bull crap does he have to say?
Are they the right-wing Michael Moore? Are they angry and they've had enough?
Well, I think they do represent, or they did at the beginning, a certain group of them represented a certain populist sense of that they were getting screwed.
I mean, that is hell, I can't stand it.
And not just against the government, but against these corporations and the banks and Wall Street who have taken their jobs and sent them elsewhere, who are now taking their homes, and they don't see a very bright future. So the Tea Party, I think, has appealed to at least a legitimate feeling that exists. And I know, because I live in the Midwest, and as you know, it turned very Republican here in the elections. It lost all the governorships except for Illinois in those Great Lakes states. And but I mean, then there are those people in the Tea Party that are a little
off the deep end, maybe. But that's a minority, isn't it?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I still think that we live in a fairly liberal country, liberal in the sense that people want to move forward. They don't want to go.
Liberal as in forward. He thinks liberal means forward. Liberal in its communist control. Liberal policies that have drove us into debt. He's trying to justify the debt that America's building up right now. He likes to claim we're going in the right direction, but we're also going on in the wrong direction. He can't make his mind up. He'll point out the obvious, that the American people are pissed off, but then he'll claim, oh, all these things that we need to fund and all these things we need to do. Folks, there's no question, here on the Texas Conservative Channel, you'll learn that Michael Moore is a communist, heathen piece of trash. And you'll hear more about that here on the Texas Conservative Channel.